You may consider including filters, heat and moisture exchange devices, or the combination of both in the breathing circuit. There are three options. You may either attach this unit at the eyepiece or at the inspiratory port or the expiratory port of the breathing circuit. However, you may only use a heat and moisture exchange device at the eyepiece. This will have three considerations. It increases resistance to both inspiration and expiration. It will add a certain respiratory dead space to the ventilation, and also you will need to change it between patients to prevent transmitting infections. The patient will breathe through it during both inspiration and expiration, hence it will increase inspiratory and expiratory resistance. The resistance is normally small when the unit is dry, but when it gets wet, the resistance can enormously increase. The dead space have to be evaluated against the body size of the animal, because the impact of the dead space depends on the dead space volume to the tidal volume of the animal. So for example, the dead space of this unit here would be a very small addition to the airways of a German Shepherd, but it would be way too large for a small cat. Filters with an HME function are nice and expensive addition to human anesthesia, but they are rarely used in veterinary medicine. If you choose to add the filter at the inspiratory hose, you can protect the patient from the anesthesia machine, but you add the small resistance for inspiration, and this may decrease spontaneous tidal volume a little bit, especially in smaller patients. If you add the filter at the expiratory hose, you will protect the anesthesia machine from the secretions of the patient. This way, resistance to inspiration is not impaired, but there might be a small addition to expiratory resistance, and it may slow down expiration. It may actually be viewed as an advantage because the average aeration of the lungs will be better and oxygenation may improve. Filters are often used and reused in veterinary medicine here at the expiratory port to protect the machine, the breathing circuit, from the secretions of the patient. But it comes with a risk, especially because it's reused, that it will absorb more and more moisture. And the moisture can increase the resistance, and at some point the resistance can be so high that the patient cannot exhale anymore. How can we prevent this from happening? Is to include this filter in the manual pressure test of the breathing circuit. So put it in the eyepiece, and this time plug it in with your finger. And just repeat the manual pressure test. Let's close the APL valve at 30 centimeters of water. Make sure that the selector is in manual mode. The flow is switched off. The ACGO is in off position, and then engage the flush valve to fill up the bag to 30 centimeters of water pressure. Remember, when we normally perform the pressure test, we will use the APL valve to release the pressure. But this time we make an exception, and I will slowly move my finger to gradually release the pressure. So I will prevent that a sudden gas flux would liberate toxic soda lime dust and would push it to the breathing circuit. So I don't want that to happen, but I still want that the flow goes through this filter. So let's just see what happens if I gradually move my finger here. Okay. And it slowly decreased. The needle decreased to 0. There is no pressure now in the system, so exhalation was smooth through the filter. The resistance of this filter is low enough to be used. So now I can put it back into position, and we can use it to anesthetize the patient. My name is Dr. Tamás Ambrisko, and I'm a veterinary anesthesiologist. Thank you for watching.